Hi guys, happy hump day. Happy Wednesday with Wendy and Whitney. I am just hanging out here for a hot minute, waiting for my sister. Hi. Okay, guys, add in my sister. The lucky duck is in San Diego.
Hi!
Hi.
Hello,
Oh,
everyone. Of,
sorry, I had to turn you down. You were loud in my ear all of a sudden.
oh, I can turn that down. Oh, sorry. You can get my
That's
finger right in
okay.
your face. Hi,
Hey,
everyone.
girl.
Of course,
How's it going, guys?
as soon as I started, my notes went away. So here they are, though. I found them. We're good.
Always.
Hello, everyone. I can't see who's tuning on, but Wendy, if you want to say "What up?" Give them.
What up, guys? What up?
Make sure I don't have any
Did I
lipstick on
do
my
it
teeth.
right?
You did it pretty good. That was pretty good.
Thanks. Thank you.
Well, hello, guys. And this is What Do We Know with Wen and Wit. This is our fourth week, third week,
Fourth week.
fourth week.
Fourth week.
And this is where we will bring perspective, inspiration, and education about hot topics and try to meet somewhere in the middle. I am currently meeting from San Diego, and it's beautiful
Lucky
here.
duck.
I am feeling so nostalgic and thinking Wendy and I were roommates in college for part of college in San Diego. And it is just so crazy to be here. It's awesome. And so for those of you who are here, let us know where you're tuning in from. We'd love to know and just see what the weather's like there. If you're catching the replay, type replay. But if you're live, just let us know where you're tuning in from.
Just in case you're wondering, it's 80 degrees here in Tennessee today, so don't be too cool in San Diego because it's also nice other places. Just saying.
Well, if you could see the view that we have, we're literally a block from the beach. And it's a nice breeze. It's pretty much the most perfect day. But anyway, I digress. As we're still kicking off the series, this is going to be the last gift that we give every week, and then we're going to start doing monthly gifts. So this is your last chance for a while to get some free loot. It's another free self-care gift because we all deserve it. Who doesn't want a free gift? To be entered to win, like this post, share the post, and tag us in your shared post. And then follow us both on Instagram. Wendy's Instagram handle is a.wendy.bird. And mine is at WhitneyJanelle28. The winner will be randomly selected and announced during What Do We Know next week. What are you laughing at?
Chelsea is tuning in from a crater randomly off the road in Arizona. Made me laugh.
Chelsea who?
Chelsea Mora, she's on a road trip.
Oh, awesome. She's everywhere all the time. This last week's winner, while we're speaking of, is Erin Laney. So,
Yay, Erin, she's watching.
oh, good. Well, send us an email with your mailing address, and we'll get a gift sent out to you. This promotion is not endorsed or sponsored by Facebook or Insta. With all that being said, hello, I'm Whitney. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a mom to my son Dylan and to my fur baby Rizzo. I am a wife and a small business owner, and I usually am in Northern California.
I'm Wendy. I'm a wife. I'm a mom to 3 kiddo bits. I have 1 million fur babies on my farm. I'm a business owner, a blogger, an author, and a speaker, and I am coming to you from Middle Tennessee. Awesome. So what are we doing here? Why are we doing this? You guys, if you've been tuning in, and we're so glad you've been tuning in. I'm loving everybody's tuning in with their weather reports on the comments.
Yeah.
It looks like it's nice everywhere except for flooding in
Oh,
Eugene, Oregon. Sorry about that.
bad.
Not good.
Not good.
But we're here to create something of our own, and we want to use what we know to make an impact and also seek further perspective for ourselves. That's definitely a big part of this. We believe that school's never out for the pro, which is basically our topic for today. There's always something to learn for ourselves included. And I believe that if you can make a difference, you must, and we can, so we must. It's kind of my personal motto. And we hope you'll join in with us and ask questions, weigh in, comment, share, etc. Share, share,
Yes.
share, 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 share. If
Spread the
you
love,
like what
please.
you're hearing. So, yes, today we are talking about growing personally, and as opposed to personal growth, I rephrased it to growing personally because I feel like personal growth kind of pigeonholes us a touch, and I want to broaden it a little bit more to growing personally. And honestly, this was a big stumbling block for me personally when I stepped into entrepreneurship 10 years ago. But I've realized that there's a lot of like a strange stigma around personal growth and personal development. We're going to tackle that. It's funny to me though, because once you dive in, you start to realize that everyone who is successful in any capacity absolutely advocates for personal development in
Hmm.
whatever category that is, right? And that can be a lot of things. We'll talk about that. So, how on earth could we expect that we're fully capable in all the ways we'll ever need to be capable in our lives, right? And we'll never need to make a mindset shift. We'll never need to grow. We'll never need to learn more to tackle a new endeavor or get deeper in a relationship or grow in a relationship. Like how do we think that we don't need this, right? And
Right.
honestly, I was 25 years old when I stepped into entrepreneurship, and I literally thought, well, I've gone through college and I've gone through my 12 years of school, so like I know things. I know all the things. And I know my friend Molly talks about when she graduated college, she made a like pledge to herself that she would never read another book because she read a lot in nursing school.
Seriously?
And she's like, I'm never reading another book except for pleasure, right? So I just thought that was funny because that's crazy pants. We need to embrace it and love it, right? So I'm going
Right.
to pass this over to Whit. She's going to talk about what we mean by personal development.
It's always funny to me when people like take pride in not reading. Like what are you winning by saying that? It's always funny to me. Not a slight against Molly. She is amazing. And I know she's reading
She's
now.
reading.
She's reading now.
Don't worry.
But what is the quote? If you're not reading, you're not leading, or something like that. Anyway,
There's a quote.
it's you should read.
It's quoted now.
Yeah, it's by me. So, what is personal development, right? Because some people might be like, what exactly does that mean? I've only heard negative things, or I don't really understand it. So, personal development is kind of a blanket term that covers activities to improve awareness and identity. It's to develop talents and potentials. Obviously, that's important. And to enhance the quality of life. That's the big overwhelming take home picture, right? It's like it'll enhance your quality of life if you can learn to execute better on the things that you want to improve on, right? Personal development takes place over the course of a person's entire life. So we are always in progress. That's what I like about personal development. It's not daunting. It's a good thing.
It's like literally never over.
Well, school's never out, right? Isn't that what you said?
That's what I said.
So, so now it's true. There are 5 different types of personal development, and you can be working on these simultaneously, or you can do them one by one. It just depends on, what your goals are and how soon you want to achieve them, right? But the 5 types are spiritual, and they're not in importance, by the way. It's no particular order. But spiritual would be deepening the connection between you and the world around you. When you start to see the world for all of its opportunities instead of all the setbacks that you've been handed, your whole world can change, right? There's so many doors that can open when you're aligned with the universe, for the lack of a better phrasing. Emotional is the second type. So being strong emotionally will benefit you in multiple situations that you'll encounter, professionally, personally, across the board. Mental development is the third one. This will greatly affect your relationships, career, and your education because it allows the capacity to understand why something is happening and how to respond appropriately to it, right? So, in an example, to not let your emotions get the best of you in a situation when you actually know it's not an attack on you or it's not something against you, you can align with it and respond accordingly. The fourth one is social. Everyone has some social tendencies that they could use some work on, right? So that's kind of, yeah, right. So that's kind of along that same, I'm just going to skim right over that. You need to be able to effectively communicate, right, with whoever you're working with, whoever you're involved with to get on the same page and accomplish those goals together. And then the last one is physical. So your physical development allows you to manifest the mental aspect of it, right? So if you have a positive state of health, you're nourishing your body instead of damaging your body. That will allow you to be generally healthy and execute on all of these things.
So that's a fun little plug for next week. We're actually going to talk about physical health and our stumbling blocks. So we're going to kind of key in on that subject a little bit more next week with just our physical health and stumbling blocks, like I just said, 1 second ago, I said that. So audience participation time, you guys. What are some of the things that you do to develop yourself personally already? Maybe you already have some good practices that you can share for everybody else. Do you read personal development books? Do you even know what we're talking about when we say personal development books? And then do you have an area in your life that you would really like to grow in? I know I'm somebody that I like to think about that at the beginning of a year or at the beginning of the month, or quarterly, where I really want to like hone in on where do I feel like I'm just not strong and how can I tackle that and really just put in some good habits to get stronger in that area. So let's talk about releasing the stigma of this. We need to break the stigma associated with personal development and instead give it a go, give it a try, right? Give it a chance to serve us. It's all about perspective, which Whitney just gave us the education, right? Because we're talking about, what do we say? Education, inspiration, and perspective.
Yes.
And so that education told us that perspective shift is the key, right? Like that's part of growing, is just understanding the other side of it and learning how you can meet in the middle, so to speak, with where someone else is or where you want to be. How can you authentically, move in that direction? So whether you like it or not, you're going to have to develop personally in your life. So why not live it consciously and pay a bit of attention to the quality of life that you're experiencing, right? There are so many things. Oh, I'm so glad we're getting some feedback on things that people are reading and whatnot. There are so many things. Nope, lost it. It fell out of my brain, so I'm gonna move on.
Okay, well, I was just going to say, Andrea, that's awesome. The point about surrounding yourself with positive people, she just commented that. That is something that I hadn't put in my notes, but that is critical to having a positive mindset and continuing to feel safe to grow, for sure.
Totally. They say that you are the sum of the average of the sum.
The sum of the 5 people. How about that?
The sum of the 5 people that you surround yourself with. And that, was so interesting when I heard that for the first time. Just the idea that these people are influencing me, whether it be positive or negative, right? And I need to be aware of that. When I get with my group of friends, are we complaining? Are we being negative? Right. Or are we building each other up? Are we cheering each other on? Who is influencing me in that capacity? So these are some, just for my own personal examples of areas that I need to and want to grow. I am in taking on more and more writing as like a career choice and a career direction currently in my life. And anything new, even if you feel like you're talented at it, is scary, right? And that's going to be a topic for another live, is just conquering fear.
Right.
So that's scary for me. But what I can do to grow in that area is be willing to be open to critiquing, right? I have to be willing to put myself out there and be vulnerable for someone to edit me and to tell me where I can get better, because I can only see what I can see. I also can read books about writing. Did you know there is such a thing? Actually, there have been a couple of recommendations in that for me, just books about writing. I'm also a new homeschool mom. We're actually wrapping up our first year here of homeschool, which is cuckoo crazy.
That's wild.
And isn't that crazy? And so I just went to a homeschool conference, right? I sought that out to learn more about how I can improve in that area and how I can learn more about being organized. That's not my best skill set.
Right.
My faith, right? That's an area where I'm always wanting to grow and strengthen my faith with God. That's my personal boundaries. Has anyone needed boundaries in their life, or a change in some relationships that might be challenging in your life, right? I
Right.
definitely have areas where I have people in my life that I feel like, oh man, I would love to grow in this relationship, but I feel like in order to grow, we need boundaries. I read a book called Codependent No More.
Ah,
What a wonderful personal development growth for that specific area of my life where I wanted to improve. My husband is a new farmer. He's all over the place trying to figure out how to do that, including talking to his neighbors, including reading books, including going on Facebook groups and learning what other people are doing. Um,
hmm,
YouTube is a huge
totally.
avenue for learning new things like that. So, what about for you, Whit? What are some of the areas you want to grow in?
Well, I was going to piggyback on what you said too about being open to what you can control instead of being fixated on what you can't
Ooh,
control,
good.
right? Because
So
some
good.
things that you can't change, but with, if you're willing and open to learn and apply yourself and be vulnerable, all the things, I mean, this is what greatness is made of, right? And if you only have one life and you know that there are things that will affect you, why not be more in control of that, right? Like, or at least more cognizant of how you can manage it. So for me, that comes to like my strengths, or the areas in which I want to develop and strengthen are my confidence and leadership skills. Um, if you get me in a social situation, I feel very confident to talk to people. But if you say Whitney is a leader, I somehow hesitate, and my self-talk and all of the doubt creeps in, right? So that needs to be strengthened because nobody is telling me you can't be a leader. I'm telling myself that. And that's an issue, right? You're directly holding
Totally.
yourself back. So those are my very
So,
vulnerable things to say.
what are you doing to strengthen those specific areas in your life?
So I am reading a lot more books. I'm definitely plugging into the personal development books. Like there's oh God, what is his name? The father of personal development. I cannot. John Maxwell. His
John
book.
Maxwell.
There's the leadership.
His book. He only has the one.
Yeah, or a
So,
million. I was referencing his book called The
okay.
Success Principles, I think,
Oh,
or
yes.
Developing the Leader Within. Both of those are great books, but Developing the Leader Within, that was a really powerful book about like
Mhm.
you get to decide what kind of leader you want to be. No one else gets to decide that. So um, we're surrounded by a bunch of really poor leadership everywhere you look. Like bosses are exploiting their employees. There's no appreciation or respect. Like all of them need to get their minds in some personal development.
Right. So this is, I hear an airplane. You
Yeah,
must be in
sorry.
San Diego.
Yeah,
Um, Dang it, these thoughts keep slipping out of my brain. There's too many things happening. I'm
I
like,
know.
obviously need more fist sticks to get my brain to work. Um, that's what I was going to say. This is not in my notes, but I think this is such a thing to set you free. This is my tip to set you guys all free. Okay. Um, you have to define all these things for yourself. You have to define
Right.
what leadership is for you, not go look at the dictionary. Like, what is a leader to me? What is success for me? What
Mhm.
kind of a writer do I want to be? Right? Like, you have to, and you get to define these things for yourself as opposed to try to shove yourself into a box. I feel like that, and that is something, gosh, in my prayer life recently, just asking God to give me direction in what the heck am I supposed to write about? Why is it going to matter to anybody? What are we doing here? Why is this going to matter to anybody? And the answer continues to be, you've got to just be authentically yourself. Like, you've got
Totally.
to write about what matters to you. You've got to be the leader that is you would want to be, right? Like, it can't be the leader that someone needs. You've got to be the leader that you are. And I feel like that is so that's just a hard thing when you're at the beginning. You're trying to make yourself some sort of definition of something that already exists, as opposed to, well, what do you define it as? Like,
Right.
what does that look like for you? Because there's all kinds of different types of leadership. As you said, we know plenty of examples of bad leadership, but why are they bad? Is it
Yeah.
because they're hands off? Is it because they don't care? Is it because they're not being true to who they are? Like, what makes them bad or good, right? Just kind of getting to the bottom of that, I think, is a good jumping off point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we had some general topics too that I think people, if they're wondering, well, where do I even start? Like, what can I invest in personally to make myself closer to my goals, right? And like you said, it depends on what they are, but some examples, some starting points. Motherhood, again, we're talking about what we know, but motherhood, your relationship, strengthening your relationship by learning how to communicate better, being more ambitious, setting yourself in a consistent pattern so that you can continue to elevate the current version of yourself to become that pinnacle, authentic leader that you want to be, right? And then it's just about caring less about what people think, which is kind of what we discuss a little bit later. We are running a little long on time, but anyway, that's my take.
That's a big one though. Like, do you want to grow in caring less about what people think? Do you want to grow in that area? Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
Is that, by that I mean, do you want to care less about what people think? And if so, that's not just going to, one day you're going to wake up and care less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to take action. And what does that look like? So where do you start, and how can you start to take action steps to improve in any of these different ways? And I'm seeing some comments here. Sorry that we're not addressing these specifically as they're coming up. I love that you guys are engaging with us.
Yes. Well, and I think they've kind of answered this, but where do you guys want to grow or change your life, right? Some of you are sharing that, but we would love to know, and it might spike something for us that we hope to improve on too, right?
Totally. We're talking about being more outgoing, getting organization skills, more productivity. Totally good stuff, guys. Looking at every situation as an opportunity to grow. Positivity. We could all stand to grow in positivity more, right?
Yeah.
So like we've talked about, are there books you can read? Yes. It does not matter what you think there is a book or 28 books written about what you want to grow in. So that's a great place to start. And Audible is easier for me personally. I can crank through 3 books a month on Audible because I listen when I'm driving, I listen when I'm doing laundry, when I'm doing the dishes, when I'm cleaning my house, which are basically life skills that I'm doing all the time.
Yeah.
You can look at podcasts. I'm not a huge podcast person myself. I'm just easing into them, but there's a million podcasts about a million different things. And those are really kind of designed. And I know you've listened to more podcasts, I think. Maybe I'm making that up in my head, but they're designed for that to be, dare I say, self-help, right? Which is another stigma concept.
She said it.
Helpful of self. Do you know someone who is a master at what you're trying to do? You know, like if you know someone doesn't care as much about what people think, ask them how they do it, what they did to overcome those hurdles, right? Really, we can learn so much from each other, you guys, too. And like I mentioned with my husband, YouTube is loaded with videos and inspiration, and SoundClouds, Kim's saying, absolutely. So there's tons of SoundClouds. You can search on SoundCloud too by topic and get whatever, trainings that are going to serve you in that too.
Totally.
So do you want to talk about some tools or tips that you've found helpful?
Yeah. I mean, I would say that the number one thing is to not get caught up comparing yourself with other people. So on your path, again, you mentioned this, but I want to hit it home. It's about being authentically you, and then you can reach like your maximum potential when you are authentically you and you're honing in on the things that make you come alive, right? And so if you're comparing your journey that is totally different from someone else, but you're treating it the same. You're saying, oh, they're super successful. Why am I not? Well, there's a million reasons why. And you can never even begin to know what those reasons are, right? So it's none of your business. And I read this book recently, Chop Wood, Carry Water. I highly, highly recommend it.
Stop what you're doing and read that book.
It's an easy read. It's a quick Audible. But a quote from the book is, the grass isn't greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. And that was so profound to me because, you could spend all day looking at your neighbor's lawn and it won't make your lawn any prettier, right? But if you look into how can I make my lawn not so, brown, or how can I flourish or grow plants? I can't keep plants alive, but I bet I could if I watered them constantly.
I think that's a Justin Bieber lyric.
Which one?
The grass is greener where you water it. I'm pretty sure it's a Justin Bieber lyric. I mean, it's also a quote in life, but.
Well, thank you for bringing that up.
In case that gives you more validity to the quote.
Or takes it away completely.
Hey, could be either way.
But so anyway, what other tips do you have about that?
Do you need to unfollow people on social media? I want to give you that freedom right this minute. I was just talking with somebody this morning about that. Are there people that you need to just unfollow? Because you don't have to unfriend them. You can unfollow them and you won't see them anymore. And you guys, sometimes we need to do that. And it's okay. And it doesn't mean forever. And honestly, they won't even know. Okay. But I want to give you guys permission to unfriend, or not. You can unfriend if you want, but unfollow people on social media that are not serving you, that are targets for your little comparison zone. Because, that I've had to do it. I'll be real. I've had to unfollow some of my dear friends even on social media because I can't, I get too caught in the comparison game for whatever reason, and I need to like move in the opposite direction.
Totally.
So, other things, I cannot stress to you enough about your daily non-negotiables and how you start your day. You don't have to necessarily get up at the butt crack of dawn, although that is highly recommended. And I don't do it, but I do feel like I'm supposed to be doing it.
Me too.
I really do totally feel like I'm supposed to be getting up really early, or at least earlier, but I haven't committed yet.
We should do a challenge.
Oh, okay. What is? Okay, what kind of
I don't know. But would anyone join in on an early morning challenge? Say me below in the comments if you
Let's do a challenge.
We don't know what the terms are yet because
you should do it with us.
Sprung it on us, but we're talking about improving ourselves, and I think that's what all the leaders recommend, really. Let us know.
That was totally a convicting moment. Thank you for doing that, because I'm always someone that says yes to a challenge. So I'm in whatever it is. It's going to be getting up early and doing.
Oh, God. I don't know why I said that.
Big mistake.
Yeah.
So we're going to get up early, and then we're going to work on daily non-negotiables. You guys, every single day since January 1st, 2018, I have started out my day the same way without exception. Without exception. If you know my life, you know I have 3 children and I live on a farm. I also travel often. I'm on a plane often. I always set up enough time to do my daily non-negotiables. And for me, that's a devotional. That's a page in my journal, my prayer journal. And now it's my high performance planner that I just answer a couple questions on the planner. But in the past, I've done 3 sentences of gratitude has been another piece of that for me. Just having some prayer time in the morning, whatever. But non-negotiables for me have been that devotional and 1 page in my journal. It sets your mindset, you guys.
Yeah.
It sets you out with intention. And here's the cool thing. You set the intention. So, when you get to the end of your day and you just feel like your day's been hijacked, and you're just like, well, how did I not get anything? It's, well, you didn't set out in the morning with intentionality to get those things done. Because when you do that, you're far more likely to get them done. Trust me, I'm like such a swear by this type of thing.
Right.
And gratitude journaling specifically it is so impossible to be in a state of fear or in a state of negativity or in a state of scarcity when you are in a state of gratitude. They cannot coexist. So if you can put some intentionality around that, just when you get out of bed, there are people who don't have legs. You stand up on your legs, you pick up your phone, you have a working hand. Like you can afford a phone. You have a bed that you're sleeping in. You're not on the ground. You have comforter, you have heat, you have air,
clean drinking water.
Clean drinking water. You can get in warm water in the shower whenever you want. I mean, we take them for granted, right? So when you get in that state of gratitude and you walk through the first 5, 10, 20 minutes, an hour of your day, really intentionally recognizing these things, your day's not going to go bad. You're not going to feel like everything is going to be half full as opposed to half empty, right? And you're going to feel more joyful. And when you're more joyful, you're definitely going to be caring less about what people think. You're going to see right through. You're going to see the negativity in others, and you're going to go, I don't want a piece of that. I don't want a piece of that, right? So how you start your day, the practices that you put in place, absolutely control your mindset, absolutely affect how your day goes, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
So what else you want to wrap up?
I think wrapping up, how do you break this down, right? And it's by setting a goal. I'm just going to really high level this. Like, you set a goal and an intention for whatever that specific focus of your personal growth will be. And then you set a timeline for achieving it, right? And you just take bite-sized pieces, right? How do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. So you just start taking control over the things you can control. And then outside of that, you ask for accountability. So the people whose opinions really matter to you, the people who will stand up and champion your efforts, tell them what you're up to. Tell them, I hope to accomplish X, Y, and Z in this timeline. And then do your best, knowing that, you know, you're really putting all of your energy into that. And the accountability helps you not fall back into your comfort zone, right? So that's just what we know. That's not, there's other things we don't know, right? That's what we always say. So with that, I'm just going to wrap up and remind you guys about the giveaway. Hopefully you found some value in what we shared today, and you would mind sharing this with your network, just because the more people we get eyeballs on, the more we know what we're talking about, how we can help people, and just keep the conversation going. We're having a really good time doing this. So just go ahead.
And thank you guys for who has shared their feedback to us. We love it. We've been sharing it with each other. Just your comments and your encouragement is so helpful to us, and to know that we're hitting on the right things, or, you know, directions to go. We so appreciate. Thank you so much for sending those messages.
Totally. So if you are so inclined and you want to win some free stuff, just go ahead and share this post, tag us in the post, and then follow us on Instagram. So our Instagram handles are in the comments above, like in the comment of this post. So just make sure you're following us on Instagram. And next week, we'll be discussing, as Wendy said, stumbling blocks with our health, because who is perfect in alignment with their health? I know we all could use a little help on that. So that's all I got.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for jumping on.
I'm going to go to the beach.
Oh,
lovely.
It was time for one of these.
Is it because you're jealous?
Thank you, guys.
That I'm going to go to the beach right now?
Yes, I'm going to go into my flower spring zone right now.
Well, thank you guys very much.
Thank you guys.
Have a wonderful day.
Crap, I don't know how to get out of it to close out the live. Oh, here we go. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Bye, guys.
Bye.